Hello everyone, it's Andrew from GemTCG here, and in today's video I'll be showing you guys my entire shipping process. So it'll start with how I pull the cards from my inventory and the different methods that I've done to make that a much easier process, and then also how I package them and then get them ready to be shipped. So I'll be showing you every single step along the way, and this process has been improved over the last 2 years. And my processes before were a lot slower. And it took me a lot of time to get to this point where I could do it extremely fast. So I want to show you guys how I do it so that you could copy this method for your own business. And also, if you're new here, I have a Patreon. If you need more help starting and growing your eBay stores, the link is in the description. And let's get started with the video. So the first thing that I do is I get ready to pull the cards. So what I do first is I go on the eBay app on my phone, and then I scroll all the way to the bottom to see the oldest order that I haven't pulled yet. And basically I just go through my inventory, pull out that specific card, and that's it. It's pretty simple, just get the card that you need, pull it out. And I pull them in an alternating order, and I will show this more in the next part of the video, but it's basically like when I pull out the first order, it's facing up. The second order, the cards are facing down. Third order is facing up and then down, and then repeating until I get every single card. And the reason why I do this is because it helps differentiate which cards go to which order. Because previously I used to just pull all of the cards, have them all facing the same way, and then I would have to like literally remember where each card went for each order. So that was pretty like it wasn't the best process, and it led to a lot of mental work that you had to think of, and you had to remember where each card went. And then another thing, you guys will notice that the majority of my orders are at the top row. There's two other rows of cards beneath here, but I purposely made it so that the most popular selling cards are all at the top row, and then the less popular ones are at the bottom. And this helps for a lot of reasons. There's a lot less of like going back and forth, standing up and down, because when you're reaching down, it puts a lot more strain. And if you do this every single day, you have 20 plus orders a day or 30 plus orders a day, it can be pretty like tiring and cause a lot of strain, like I said. So you're going to want to have the most popular selling cards in an easily accessible way so that you're not putting any extra stress on your body. And so like you can kind of see it here. I tried to show it a little bit. As you can see, that one order was facing down, and then the other ones were facing up. So it's pretty simple. And I put all those stacks in that one area because it's just easy to have one specific spot where you keep all the cards rather than like holding on to it or putting it in a different area. So that's why I have it there. And you'll notice that like most of the orders I can get pretty quickly because it's pretty well organized, so I can just pull them out right away. But one order, like you'll see at the towards the end of this part of the video, I'm basically looking for the same card for around like probably a minute long. And that's a super long time to just be looking for one card. And the reason why this happened is because I didn't have it organized properly. Like for some of my listings, I don't have them really organized by alphabet or by set, and that causes a lot of issues. And I need to fix that. And I think that's what I'm doing right here in this video. That's why I'm like crouched down looking for the card at the bottom. So that's why it's taking me a while to find that card. And also, I recorded this part when I had around like 18 orders. I wasn't able to do it for every single order because I wanted to get it filmed earlier on, because if I had like 50 orders to show, it would have taken me a pretty long time. And luckily for this video, most of the orders were like single card or 1 to 4 card orders, which is a lot quicker to pull. I did get one big order that I show in the next part. It's like 37 cards for, I believe it was like $360. And I had a few big sales, so you guys will see some pretty cool cards when I'm showing the shipping part or the packaging. And I'm going to cut this part of the video a little bit early because as you can see here, I'm just like basically looking for that single card still, which is an insanely long time. And you guys probably get the point of what I'm trying to show. Basically, you just have your phone ready with the cards, pull them out in an alternating order so that you know which cards belong to which order, and it's pretty simple. So next part is the packaging or like the prepping it for shipment, which is putting the cards in the sleeve and then also the top loader or card saver. And as you can see here, I have everything pretty neatly set up. So I have all the card savers in one pile, top loaders in another. I have those two stacks of card sleeves. One is like the thin, clear ones that are you can sometimes fit multiple cards in there if possible. I usually don't do that unless it's like a really cheap card or it's not a hollow, something like that. But most times I just use the single card sleeves and put one card at a time. I've learned to, do that instead of because before I used to do like 5 to 10 cards in a sleeve, which I was a terrible idea looking back on it. But I was just being lazy and, trying to save time. And what I just showed before that was me getting ready to pull up the eBay shipping labels. So you go to is the awaiting shipment, and then you click get labels, and that will pull up a page with all of the labels, pre-populated, all in the same order, and you could just set the weight and the shipping service all at once, and then you print them at the same time. So it saves you a lot of time with like manual work because you don't have to go around and go into each order, print the label one at a time. It just takes a lot of time doing that way. So that's why I do it in this way where you could just print them all at once. And then another great feature that I showed is the combined shipping. So this happens when, let's say, someone makes an order and then, like an hour later or a day later, they make another order. You can go into there and click combine shipping. So it will put those two orders, or even sometimes I've had people make like 10 orders in one day, and it puts them all together. And then you could just buy one label for all those cards, which is a big game changer, and it saves you a lot of time and costs on shipping. So really look into that and try to do that. And what you see me doing here is I'm just doing what I said earlier is going through those orders and then putting in the different weights and making sure that the right shipping service is enabled. Always set your thing to like 1 ounce if it's one card. Don't be putting, 2 ounces or 3 ounces because you will be overpaying. And right now I am putting the cards in the top loaders and the sleeves. When it's a top loader, I just put one sleeve or like I just put it in the top loader if it's one card, and then I'll put a tape over the top so that it doesn't fall out. Sometimes, or like some people put a team bag for that, but I find it to be a little bit clunkier and takes a lot more time, and it's also more expensive with not much benefit. Like I know it can protect your card if it gets wet, but I've never had that issue happen because luckily mailboxes are covered and they usually don't get wet, and people check their mailboxes pretty often, especially if they're expecting cards. So I don't really think that's that big of an issue. And then also what I do is I'll pull an order and like I'm not sure if you noticed, but this Jolteon card right here is a combined order. So someone bought those two cards and then they bought another card like an hour or two later. So that's why I have it set there and then I start a new pile so that I could keep track and know that I am looking for that card that goes with the combined order. And this happens because when you do the combined orders, it prints the labels in a specific way. And since you're printing them all at once, you need everything to be like perfect. You can't have any mistakes because if you mess up one label and put it with the wrong person, it could mess up every single order after that. So you have to be really, really careful and like peculiar with this step. And this is that one order that I'm talking about. This guy got 37 cards, pretty expensive, like $360. And what I do here is I go through all the cards that don't have a sleeve on them, and like I'm putting them down right here so that I could sleeve them all, and then I put them in the team bag later on. So the way that I differentiate like what goes where is one card goes in a top loader, two to like maybe 8 cards go in a card saver. Anything else higher or more expensive, like a $20+ card or bigger order, they go in the team bags, and then I show how to package those more in the next step. And also, as you can see, what I'm doing is I'm putting the team bag orders in their own pile, and this is because I differentiate how I package them, because those go in a bubble mailer. So instead of doing like the plain white envelopes and the bubble mailer steps all at once, I do the plain white envelope step first, and then I do the bubble mailer part afterwards, because it requires different supplies, you know, different different methods. So doing them at different times is a lot easier and more neat, and it's better to keep track of. So that's why I do that. And another thing with the top loader, or like with the team bag orders, is that let's say a card is worth $20 or more, or the order total is worth $50 or more. That requires you to ship it in a bubble mailer with grounded, or not bubble. It doesn't have to be a bubble mailer, but it has to be ground advantage. So if that's the case, I will put the most expensive card in a top loader, put the rest in sleeves, and then just put it in a team bag. I don't feel the need to put a top loader on every single card, because it costs too much if you're doing that, and I don't see the benefit. And I also show another thing that I do to make sure that the cards don't get damaged either. And also, I didn't mention it yet, but you could see in this part of the video why I do that alternating thing, because when I'm going through them, it's a lot easier. And actually, side note, this was the combined order. So then you see, like, I put it with that order, and then I can make that pile again, like starting from there. So that's why I do it like that. But yeah, the alternating order, like, see that Dragon Ball Super card is upside down. So that means when the next card is facing up, that's associated with a different order. So it's very easy, very simple, and it really works, because you don't have to put in any memorization or have to remember which card goes where. And I personally just find it to be a lot easier, because beforehand I used to literally lay them all out and then try to, like, say there's like 30 orders, I would make 30 different piles and try to remember where each card went to, and it was way too much. But yeah, that's about it for this part. I'm basically wrapping up, getting them all ready. And make sure, one thing is that you get them in the same exact order that you pulled them in. So it's going to be like an inverse, like the last card you pulled will be at the bottom, and the first card you pulled will be at the top. So that way, when you print the labels, they're all in the same order, and then you just go one by one. Super simple. You just, repeat that process. It's very quick, and I'll show you why in the next part of this video. So I'm wrapping up here. This is my last part, and once I finish, I will be cleaning up that area, and I will show you, or I'll kind of talk about why I do that too. The cleaner your workspace and the more room you have, makes it a lot easier to just keep track of everything and not mess up or like get things lost. So always make sure, like, you'll notice in each step, there's like a different setup. Everything is neat and organized, and that's very important when you're doing this, because you cannot afford to like make a simple mistake that causes you to lose a card, because that could throw off many different things and have like a chain effect. And this is a step where I'm putting them in the plain white envelopes with the eBay standard label. And this isn't even sped up. It's just a very super fast process. When you have everything in order, you have everything set up, it just becomes like almost like clockwork. It's just very simple. And one thing I've learned to do is, it's kind of hard to tell in the video, but put the card in the envelope, and then you put the label on the side that's closing. So like with that seal. So that way you just have a little bit more of protection, so that the envelope doesn't, rip open. You have something taping it together to protect from that. And one thing you guys might have noticed is that I don't use packing slips or anything like that because one, I don't really understand why they're a thing. Maybe I'm doing something wrong, but I've never gotten an order and like even read the packing slip as a buyer. I've never done that. So I don't know why as a seller we would do that too. I feel like it's just a waste of paper, waste of time. So one thing I'd recommend is that you don't really need to do that because if you think about it, like for me, I'm shipping on average 30 orders a day. If I were to print a packing slip for each order, that would be at a minimum 30 pieces of paper every single day, which just seems like a huge waste. And then also ink on top of that. And then another thing is if they get a big order, it could be multiple pages. So definitely don't worry about packing slips. Unless you want to include them, I don't think they're a need. And another thing is, I don't know if you guys noticed, but that Raichu order was a ground advantage label, so it will be going in the bubble mailer. So I put that on the side with the label under it because when I get to the next step, it's basically the same process but just different supplies, and it's a lot easier to keep track of that way. And the other labels that I don't know if you noticed, but I am writing on them. This is because they are the bulk lots, so like 100 card lot, 50 card lot, stuff like that. I write on them so that I can, package those lots at a separate time. I didn't put it in this video because it's pretty boring to see me like, counting cards and then making a bulk lot. So I just wrote them down and then finished packing them after the video. But if you guys want to see a video of me making bulk lots and like my tips on how to sell them on eBay, definitely let me know and I will try to make one soon. I think it's pretty simple. You just like put desirable cards, make it unique, and make it something that people would want to buy rather than try to like, you know, say, oh, guaranteed Charizard and then show like a base set one, but then you're sending them like a bulk Charizard. Don't do stuff like that. But that's a bit off topic. Let me get back to the actual video. So I'm kind of wrapping up here. I have like a few more orders. So I'm just going to cut this part early because I think you guys get the point of what I'm doing here. And so yeah, the next part is the bubble mailers. These black, cardboards are from ETBs that I break down. Instead of throwing them away, I just repurpose them and use them as like an extra rigid support thing. Because usually for these bubble mailer orders, they are pretty expensive. So you don't want to get any issues with them being damaged in transit. So that's why I put these in. And it's also just a good way to repurpose things and not throw everything away. Because one, is just a waste of, you know, supplies if you're throwing stuff away. And two, it's free. And three, it's clunky. So when you're throwing away an ETB box, if you have like 20 of them, it can be pretty big and it could take up a lot of space. So figured it's better to just break them down and repurpose them like this. And so yeah, I just put that on top of the team bag, seal it, and then I do that same method with the label. I put the sticker over the seal, like over the flap, so that way you just have a little bit more protection with your packaging and with your seals. But that's about it for this video. I hope you guys found it helpful and hopefully you guys can mimic this in your own eBay stores. And if you found it helpful, let me know in the comments below. If you need more help, feel free to reach out and join the Patreon, and I'll be happy to help you all there. But yeah, I'll see you all in the next one.